Sneak dissing, we don't see the competition. I drop off a ransom note that your art is missing, nigga.
Pay us in full with the money, or she gon' get her fingers clipped off like Lil Sonny,
MRecktv.
Yo, we always gonna be best friends, man. You hear something?
Have you guys heard of StreamBoss? It's a new IPTV provider that gives you over 5,000 channels for only $20 a month. Cool! $20 for live TV, local TV, movies, TV shows, pay-per-views, and so much more.
Huh? What?
If you have a Fire Stick, smart TV, or streaming device, then head on over to thestreamboss.com to begin your setup process.
Yeah.
Now you produce the Nas Destroy and Rebuild, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did.
That was on the Stillmatic album, right?
Stillmatic.
Arguably one of Nas's best albums since Stillmatic. Arguably.
Yeah. Now, it's a little controversy with that song, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's crazy
All right,
because
let's
when I
go
did
into
that
that.
song, when I did that song, I submitted the music to Letty Nicholson, who was the A&R at the time at Sony, and I got the call maybe like almost 3 to 5 months later that they wanted to use the record. Nas was recording some of that album in the Bahamas. Then he came to New York to finish the records. So I was called to go to Right Track Studios in Times Square to work on the record. You know, and Nas was like, you know, he had most of the vocals, but he didn't finish it. So he was literally finishing it with me. You know what I'm saying? And he was like playing it. Let me know what you think. And I just heard him going crazy on everybody. And I was like, oh man, this record. Fuck. You know what I mean? I want a single. You know what I'm saying?
What were some of the people that he was going crazy on? I can't remember off the top.
He was talking about Nature. He was talking about Prodigy. Man, he rest in peace. Of course, he did a jab at Jay. You know what I'm saying? Besides the Ether record, but it was like a one line at Jay.
Martinez, he went at her.
Yeah, I don't think on this record.
No, but he was still spazzing on that album though. He was spazzing on them, saying y'all gotta play my records. Because remember at that time,
I think that was Godson. That was Godson.
It was that one too, because they didn't want to play Ether at first.
And it's funny because both and Nature, after the album came out, the song came out, they both approached me to do this record to Nas, and I turned them down.
Say word.
You know what I'm saying? They both approached me to do response records to Destroy and Rebuild, and I turned it down. I just felt like I didn't want to be a part of that. First and foremost, for the culture, I didn't want to be a part of that because, you know, Nas did what he's doing, expressing himself, and, you know, I'm producing a Nas record. I got to let that go. You know, this is his art. You know what I'm saying? And what I did do that I'm proud of is at the tail end of the record, when he does the outro and he's just talking after the verses is done and the chorus is done, he's just talking. You know, he was saying some other things that I disagreed with letting go. You know what I'm saying? And I suggested to him, you know, this song's called Destroy and Rebuild, so you should kind of like fix it at the end. You know, so it's like the song concept is you speaking your piece, airing out your grievances, but at the end you're supposed to like offer some semblance of like, yo, let's rebuild it, let's get it right. You know what I'm saying? Representing Queensbridge. And he thankfully took to my suggestion. You know what I'm saying? And he did a different outro. And then I mixed the record like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, let me ask you this.
That record, I just want to say this real quick. Shout out to Jungle, because as soon as we was wrapping up that session, he said, nigga, we're going to take this record to Queensbridge as soon as we get out the studio. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
Crazy. Now, you being in the studio with Nas while he penned that record and y'all vibing, what was that like? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that experience
like? It was
like?
super dope. It was super dope. Nas was super cool, man. And we had some really dope dialogue, just business dialogue, which was surprising because usually people just on the artistry type thing. I mean, on the creative side, one of the first things he asked me, he was like, what was you thinking when you made this beat? And the funny thing is I didn't answer him. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is that beat for me creatively was a merge between Dr. Dre and Alchemist. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like musically, the chord progressions and all of that, it's like a Dr. Dre vibe. Because that record has no samples. know what I'm saying? It was all played. And then the drum pad in the programming, it had a sequence of the drum patterns. I was inspired by a record Alp did for like I think Foxy Brown, the one that kind of caused the drama. You know how the drum patterns was on that record? Remember, I think it was Foxy Brown and CNN or whatever.
Oh, bang, bang, bang,
drama in the
bang,
show.
bang.
Right. If you listen to that record and the drum patterns, you know what I'm saying? I had that in my subconscious when I was programming that beat. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that came about. And I actually took the kick drum from the Eric Sermon record Music. That's the kick drum from that because I like the sonics of it. So when I programmed the drums, I took a snare from a sampled record, used that kick, and I programmed the drums and sequenced it with the music, and rest is history.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, I didn't answer that question to Nas though. You know, I just didn't. I don't know if it was because I didn't feel like getting into the technical aspect of it or give it away. But then we got into other dialogue after doing the vocals. We was talking about Death Row. I had a Death Row DVD. You know, remember the DVD of the story of Death Row back then that had came out with Suge and them. You know, Stranded. I don't know if it's called Stranded Death Row. It was a whole documentary on Death Row at the time. It was in DVD format, and we watched it at the studio. Then I gave it to him.
Oh wow!
He's like, "Yo, good looking." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was saying to me, "Yo, I don't know why Pac didn't like me." You know what I'm saying? I remember him saying that to me. And then he also talked about, you know, having conversations with Interscope Records that was offered a buyout from Sony, and how he took a meeting and he met Jimmy Iovine. Around that time, they had made almost $400 million off of Dr. Dre, and it was like, you know, having dinner, you know, having just a conversation. Of course, as you can see, it never went to fruition because he went to Def Jam.
Right.
But he was having that conversation with them, I guess, and you know, he was just like, "What do you say to somebody who just earned 400 million?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was then. Now look at him now. He's in the 100 million.
So Interscope, hold on, let me backtrack. So Interscope was trying to buy out Nas' contract with Sony because he was with Sony at the time, Columbia Sony. During the time that whole Death Row, Dr. Dre,
he had a
Suge
conversation.
Knight,
He had a conversation. He definitely had a conversation.
Wow.
I don't know where it went or how long ago it was from the time I was in studio with him, but he shared that with me in the time we was in the studio, and it was just interesting because it just showed the business side. You know, we was having that kind of business dialogue, and you know, later on he went on to do the Def Jam thing.
Well, you in the studio with Nas, and you said yo was talking about Interscope possibly buying him out his Sony Columbia contract, right? Correct?
Absolutely.
Did he express to you entertaining those deals?
Pretty much what he was saying was that he had a meeting, I believe, with Jimmy Iovine at that time. I don't know if Ted Fields, who was Jimmy Iovine's partner, was still around. Ted Fields went on to get into the film industry, you know, after the success of like a lot of the stuff with Dre and Snoop and all of that. And I do remember him just saying he had a meeting with them, and he was just kind of like blown away at the fact that they were in the space they were in, having earned like almost 400 million, if not more, in success up to that point. And they were having a meeting and having a conversation about it. And I just remember him saying to me, "What do I say to somebody that's worth 400 million?" I remember him saying that to me.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't answer that. I couldn't answer that.
And he also said to you he couldn't understand why Tupac didn't like him, right?
Yeah. I remember he was just like, you know, he just didn't, because we watched the documentary, the DVD, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I saw how intrigued he was by the documentary, so I gave him a copy of the DVD I have. I was just like, yo, keep it, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, good looking. And you know, I remember saying, you know, he didn't get it, why they didn't get along, you know what I'm saying?
So Paul, was this around the time they had the meeting at Bryant Park with Tupac and Nas?
It was definitely way before.
Oh, way before that. Okay.
That happened way before, because Thematic was like, we're talking like 2001. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This was after Jay came out in 2000, you know, after 9/11 and all that. The stuff for Pac was he was still alive, of course. You know, Pac passed in like 96, so way before. But the conversation got rehashed because, again, I had that DVD, that documentary in the session, and, you know, on some downtime, I remember we watched some of it, you know, and then I just gave it to him. That was just my fond memory of the times we kicked it at the studio. You know what I'm saying? So it was just in subtle talk. It wasn't like a whole in-depth conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? He just was just like, just mentioning it, kind of like, you know what I mean?
Got you. Now, did you work with Nas after that?
Actually, yeah, I did a song with him at AZ called Essence.
Essence.
That was on the Asiatic album. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AZ, shout out to Nas once again. And funny backstory to that was riding off the success of Stillmatic, end of 2001, going into the new year, winter season. Nas did the Stillmatic tour, all that. I gave the beat. Originally, I shopped the beat to Rockefeller. This is the true story, right? And he got in the hands of Memphis Bleak, but he passed on it because he said the beat was too slow. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Damian Blyden, who was a A&R at the time at Motown Records, one of my mentors. He put it in the hands of AZ, and they used it, and he called Nas in to jump on the vocals. It was recorded at Sugar Hill Studios in New Jersey. And I'm gonna share something about that too. But it was recorded at Sugar Hill Studios in New Jersey, and this was right around Super Bowl weekend 2002. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even mixed yet, just the reference with their vocals, and somehow I don't know who leaked it, but it got in the hands of DJ Clue, and he played it on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Clue gonna do that anyway.
AZ, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it didn't even have a title yet. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what Clue do.
Months later, I mixed the record, and it was like actually the last song that was made for the record right before it came out in June of 2002. And not long after I mixed the record, Sugar Hill Studios burned down.
Wow.
You hear something?
Have you guys heard of StreamBoss? It's a new IPTV provider that gives you over 5,000 channels for only $20 a month. Cool! $20 for live TV, local TV, movies, TV shows, pay-per-views, and so much more.
Huh? What?
If you have a Fire Stick, smart TV, or streaming device, then head on over to thestreamboss.com to begin your setup process.
Yo, we always gonna be best friends, man.
You're the plug and such. You a joke's bound to happen if you slipping or you lacking. I'm gripping on the matching, ready for the action. Shots to make you break dance and have you do a backspin. I got more kicks than karate flicks. My whole team pushing Maserati whips. You on IG liking thotty pics. Shorty pocket broke, but her body fixed. Peace, world. To promote your music or promote your business by placing an ad on MRecktv, contact MRecktVpromo, MRecktVpromo @gmail.com. Peace. Oh yeah, subscribe to MRecktv, youtube.com/MRecktv. I'm gone. MRecktv. It's got a music.